Hello, everyone. This is Magnificent Men May month. I know May is usually stands for Mental Health Month, so we are still celebrating mental health. I think it's important that we focus on mental health, but I wanted to focus on magnificent men. How about that? Okay. And I have my first guest who I'm so honored to be here with today, my uncle, Bishop Wesley Wiley. How are you doing,
Hey.
Bishop?
Look, you see me trying to remember all this stuff. Y'all done taught me how to work these computers and stuff.
I am so happy to be here with you today because there are so many things that we want to talk about. I really want to celebrate men and talk about men issues. And
Okay.
we're going to get into your book in a minute because I think your book is so powerful, How I Made It on Broken Pieces. And I know you have
Woo! Don't
it out.
start, Shalay. Don't start.
Because I really think that we live in a time, especially with Mental Health Month, where people don't take the broken pieces and they don't make anything out of it. You know, they just die
Right.
their broken pieces.
Mhm.
And so, I wanted you to talk about that for a minute too, about just with the title, what it meant to your life. Show people the book so we can see it.
Look, you see me on here you see me on here tagging and sharing and stuff, right? This is the book, Shalay.
Yes. Yes. And what did the title mean? Like, I made it on broken pieces. What were those broken pieces that you had to get over in your life?
Ooh-wee.
Mm,
That's something right there, Shalay, because a lot of people have gone through I'm just sharing this stuff. A lot of people have gone through life in shambles.
yes.
Going through life in shambles, and a lot of times, Shalay, people see the how you say the end result, but
Mm,
they don't know what you've been through to get where you're at. You
yes.
know, they see you now, you're a wonderful professor and all that kind of stuff, and all the things they see your accomplishments, but they don't see all the stuff
No.
that you had to go through to get
Woo.
where you got. So I do believe that the broken pieces is what helped carry us all over. And of course, the book is kind of down to earth. I always say it because I try to apply it to the people's life and currently what we've gone through and what we're going through, the pandemic right now. And so it's very enlightening. It's very enlightening.
So I encourage everybody to get the book. It's an awesome book. I've read it twice. So
What?
tell you, yes, I can tell you how great it was. You have an interesting story too. I know you have great parents, but you were actually adopted. Can you talk about what impact that had on your life?
And you saw that in the book, right?
Yeah.
So but it's I just really, since the book has been back out, I just really started talking about it because I've met so many people, Shirley. I've met so many people through the years, even because this is actually the 10th year anniversary.
Right.
So, but I've met so many people that have the same story, and I'm like, wow. I said, either you've gone through some kind of trauma in your life, some kind of adoption, whatever you've gone through in your life, and a lot of us have the same story.
Yeah.
And when I found out that I was adopted, it was like at the age of 16. It was the age of 16. And me and my nosy self, as I said in the book, I was looking through my mother's stuff while she went home. Ooh, being nosy,
Yeah.
And I found it. And I found it when I approached her, and she started weeping and was afraid that I was going to leave. And I'm like, I'm not going to leave. I just want to know who these people are.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is how my dad's aunt, I went to go see her, and she had just came out of a stroke.
Wow.
And she wasn't talking, she wasn't doing anything. But when I walked in her house, she started talking. The nurses were amazed. It was like she hadn't been talking for like 3-4 weeks. And when I walked in the house, she started talking, vocally speaking, and she
Wow.
she told me the whole story. She said, "Your father was a jazz musician, and and of course, you know me, you
You
know us, Chalet. We like to research. So I
yes.
went and looked into jazz, all the jazz book in the library, the old jazz people." And I looked all that up and, did research and found out who he was. Haven't got a chance to meet him or my mom, but she told me the whole story. She said that, your mom had a lot of kids. She said, and me and your actual father, she said, we were actually dating, and he wanted me to actually take you. And she said, I had just started my church. In 1968. She said, I couldn't take you, so that's why I asked my nephew and his wife, could they take you? And that's how it happened. And from the hospital, Sydenham Hospital in New York, on December 3rd, 1968, that's when they took me from the hospital. So it was all God's plan, because who knows what would have happened? Who knows what my life would have turned out to be? That broken piece, Chalet.
Oh my God. Story. I think it's powerful, because I think a lot of things in a pessimistic way, where it's like, oh, this happened to me. But you see it in a way that it came out for your good, your glory, for God's glory there. And I love that. I love the way you changed that. But one other thing I wanted to say too was, I know you are a musician. You've done so much, traveled the world and performed and preached all over the country. You're still doing it, even during a pandemic. It amazes me. But I love the way that you are able to recreate yourself. And I think that sometimes men get stuck. They get stuck in, believing that they're only meant to do one thing or be one thing, or, their purpose is one thing. Talk about that. Oh, you got to unmute yourself.
I forgot. I'm so used to muting that mic because
Yes.
I don't want you to echo or nothing.
Yes.
But I do believe that we have to be relevant. We have to be in a place of knowing who we are. And when you know who you are, you're always seeking God of what's new. And it's not really just what's new in the world, what's new altogether, what's new in the word. A new revelation of the word, a new how to be able to be on a level that everyone understands you. It just intrigues me when I see young people wait for me after, you know how they do. They be waiting for me after church, and they be like, yo, I really enjoyed that. I'm like, and I crack up, because I'm like, when millennials and kids and stuff are able to get in church and they hear me speak, and then they get something out of it, that thrills me more than anything.
Yes.
When they're waiting, it just happened to me Sunday. A lobby full of people. I came out the office, they would wait. Hell, that was off the chain. They was talking, because God has given me a way to how to speak their language and speak on their level. So you can't pour old wine into new wineskins. You can't. You can always seek God. What is new? What's the next realm of my ministry? What's the next realm of my businesses? What's the next realm of everything that I do? What is that next realm? What is that next plateau? What is that next? Where am I supposed to go from here? So I do believe in you're always supposed to ask God of what area, what areas should you how to recreate yourself and do it over.
I love that. I love that. And we are focusing on men. So I want to talk about, when did you actually know that you had moved from boyhood to manhood? First of all, because I think that sometimes that can be a blurred line. Like, was it one experience? Was it something that shaped you, that you said, wow, now I'm really a man? And what was the best advice you got in as far as being a man?
Well, I always say this. They're gonna laugh at me, but I always say this: men are always boys. This is the reason why I always tell girls, start calling guys my boyfriend. I said, because if you label him as a boyfriend, he's going to act like a boy, because always have boy. If you notice, men always playing them video games, always is doing something that that's childish and boyish, because it's a part of in us that never grow up. So a lot of times it takes the grooming It takes the grooming from other men of God or men of God that are in the faith or more mature. I always learn to glean from those that are paved the path, how they say,
Yes.
before me, and not just get stuck on my homies or the ones on my level. Because they don't really have, they really don't have that much to offer you because they're in the same boat. So you learn to glean from people that have gone and paved the way and can give you that wisdom and listen. And I was telling a young man this afternoon, I said that what happened to you was not as an offense because someone corrected him. And I said, it wasn't as an offense. So you can't take it as an offense. You have to take it as constructive criticism. I said, and what it does is help develop you, Now, see, he needed somebody mature to tell him that. Now, if he would have got with his other boys, and who they think they are telling you, and that's all of that childish stuff. But no, you needed somebody with wisdom, and you came to somebody that could tell you and done what you've done and done the job in ministry that you've done and tell you, don't take it as no offense. That was just constructive criticism to help you. One day you're going to be telling somebody that. One day you're going to be helping somebody in that area. So, I knew it was more, Chalet, to growing up than bills. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of men think because, I pay the bills and I'm grown. No, it's not. No. It's more to that because, and I always tell people this. I really feel. I could be wrong. I really feel that girls and ladies are always groomed to be wives and to be women. They're always groomed to that because they've seen it from their mom. They've seen it from their mother. But men have to learn that thing when they get their feet in the water. That's why we have a lot of times we have a lot of divorces because you have two parties that are not mature enough to handle each other's situation. So then if you have a spoiled brat as a man, you see what I'm saying? And then see, they don't like me so like.
Yes, say it. Tell the truth. Shake the devil.
We have a spoiled brat, mama's boy or something like that, and then when he can't get his way and all that kind of stuff break out in the house. See, this is what I'm saying. This is where we are supposed to glean. We don't have that. Most men, let me just say this. Yeah. Most men doesn't have that man training. Because even if you know me from working with Sons of Joy and all them guys, who most men that have gone through things, they either said, this is what some of them said, because I said, well, why do you have problems? Because your dad is in the house. And they said, my dad is in the house, but he's not a father to me. He ignores, he don't talk to me. He don't chat it up with me. He don't vibe with me. So it's like he's there, but he ain't there. So everything I had to learn from the streets, from people that was giving negative vibes, but it was positive to me because this is the only thing that I got from a man. This is this is all I received from a man. And then you have the place, Chalet, where a lot of men have been molested and gone through molestation. So they spend most of their life looking for love in the wrong places, thinking that male on male love is supposed to be what it is. So and they've gone through that place in their life where this is how they came up. They came up with this secret. Come on, they came up with this secret. So they knew not love from other places because this is what they dealt with as little boys or being molested as growing up. So I think that a lot of men, a lot of times, if we don't have God, this is why men of God need God. And if we don't have God in our lives, and we don't have God in our lives that can guide us and lead us and to help us, we are in a place where we're really lost because, come on, it's a shortage. You don't have men taking other men, the men that are lawyers, taking them and grooming them, bringing them to
That's so true.
You don't have them coming to the NBA basketball court and you just training them and letting them look. You know what I'm saying? Men are very visual. We're very visual. So that's that by what we see is how we're groomed, by what's put in us. And all them boys, and I look at their lives now, and I said, after all the years of impartation in them, now the fruit of their labor, or my labor, is now spinning off. Now, if they decide to make other decisions now, If they decide to make other decisions now, and you're from under my tutelage, or you're from under my guide, and from when you was coming up as a teenager, you're now making grown man decisions. So now, like I tell them now, and I tell them to their face, now you're in a place where you have to pay the consequences of that grown man decision.
I love it.
You made that decision without any guidance. Because now you've grown, you think you're grown, and you don't want nobody else telling you what to do. But a man always needs a checker. Always need that checker needs a checker. Or a man always needs somebody that they can talk to, that they can vibe with, that they can chop it up, that they can get all that stuff out and not walk around and self-learn and self-destruct.
Yes.
And we self-destruct most of the time because we don't know how to be that thing. I told some men the other week, I said, you can't say you. I said, you may think you're a good man. You may say, I'm a great man, but that don't mean you're a great husband. You know what I'm saying? You can't say, well, I'm a great husband. You don't know that. You can't say that. The wife says that.
Right.
You don't know that you're a great husband because you're not a husband for yourself.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying?
And you don't even know if you're a great man because you are seeing yourself from a different vision of what other people see you as, you know? I mean, really, to tell you the truth, you know, I love what you said. That self-check is so important. You know, I'm taking that, I'm swallowing that for myself. But I think especially for men, because I think women innately have something in them where, so even with our friendships, where we check one another. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, girl, you wrong for that. You know, no. Even if we wrong, we always checking one another. But men are even, you know, even with their emotions, they can be very quiet. You know, they don't express themselves the same way. You know, there is, you know, a hidden, you know, part of their heart that they don't feel like they can release to everybody, you know. So, you know, men have it's a special thing about men, you know. And I love what you're saying, because I think that's so important for us to remember is that self-check, right? And having somebody, a mentor, an older man that will self-check you, somebody who's an elder to you, right? Not looking at yourself, but your elder. You know, and I think that a lot of men don't have that, especially men of God. They don't set up themselves to have spiritual fathers. And that's a problem.
And it's two different things.
Yes.
There's two different things.
That's
Just
good.
because that's your spiritual father doesn't mean that's your mentor. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because certain things that you look for from certain people, you may be looking for a spiritual guidance, and then he may say, okay, I'll give you that spiritual guidance, but I can't be your mentor. You see what I'm saying? I can be your mentor, but I'm not your father. You see what I'm saying? I'm not your father that birthed you. So you know what I'm saying? So it's categories, and where most men get it twisted is we look for all those things in people, different other people too soon. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why you have people going around, this is my dad, this is my spiritual dad, this is my spiritual dad, you just had a spiritual dad last week. Right. Now you have another spiritual dad this week. You see what I'm saying? So when that spiritual dad had to correct you, now you get mad, you moving on to the next spiritual dad, and you just you confused. And so I know you remember a lot of this, because even when I had all those guys in the choir, guys in the choir, and the Lord gave me the key to unlocking all that spirit that was on them, and he gave me the key, and he said, every time you minister them about not having a father. And every time that I ministered to some of them boys, and they were hard as rocks, Wiley, you know, they talking like that, and as soon as I get on that topic, you know, do you know your father? They break down. They cry. They break down, because that's a part of their heart that's missing. That's a part of them that's that chunk out of their heart that nobody's helping, nobody's training them. Come on, why you think so many men wind up in jail? Because they sought leadership in the wrong places. They sought things that look like leadership. They saw the things that was paying off well. So I'll become a drug dealer because, that look good. All my homies are out there on the street. They making money, got their jewelry, got their cars, and then they look up to the head guy, and, and he giving us what we need to do and telling us, come on. Same thing like in the army. I said a lot of men go to the army because they want to be trained. They want somebody to tell them what to do.
Yes.
They want to be trained. They want to be groomed. So that's why a lot of men go to the the reserves or the Air Force and all that. It's because
Yes.
they want that guidance. They really want it, even if they say they don't. They really want it and they desire it, because how can you be a father? How can you be a husband? How can you be all those things and you don't have that guidance how to be that? How can you be it? You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
you have to have experience. You have to have that broken piece
Yes.
that enables us to enlighten and to help other people. Jill, Dr. Jill,
Yes.
she
Yes.
does this thing called reset. And and she get the people and she reset them. And just I don't know what she does, but I know they come out totally different. Because it helps them to look at it themselves. It helps them
Yes.
to reevaluate. It helps them to have somebody to be. This is a word that most men don't like. Accountability.
You better say it, Uncle Wesley.
Accountability. And we don't have, come on, most men don't have accountability partners, people that will hold them accountable and that will tell you, stop, that's
Stop
wrong.
doing that. That's not right.
Don't say that. Don't say that out your mouth.
It's so funny that you say that, because that's all I knew. Being, with you and the people that we would, you know.
So,
that's all I knew. So this whole, and I'm a woman, so I know it's different with men. But even when watching you with the you taught at one of the roughest schools with my mom, with them, they were street boys. You know what I'm saying? They weren't like no pity pat church boys.
Nope.
You took half of them and brought them and had them in a gospel choir. I couldn't believe it. I mean, because them street boys, we couldn't get them to do nothing. So, and it was a hard times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But accountability is so important for men, because if you're not accountable to other people and yourself, you are losing already. And I just want you to speak to men who feel like, I know you're gonna like this, that they are irrevocably broken. What would you say to them?
That they are irrevocably broken, that they are broken. I would say that you can take that brokenness and still make it. You see what I'm saying? Paul, and my book is based on Paul. I love Paul.
Yes, I love Paul.
And I even I'm teaching now in Romans, because he's getting them ready, because he hadn't made it to Rome yet.
Yes.
All of this stuff, and he has not gotten it yet. But he's sending that letter to the Romans to let them know, yo, the people I got coming with me, there ain't no church to find. He couple shot top folk.
Yes.
People from the crack house, trap house.
Yes.
They for that. So I don't need y'all judging them when they come here.
I love it.
Come with me. I don't need y'all to lose these souls. I don't need y'all to make them turn around. I need you to greet them. I don't need your tradition. I don't need your organization. I don't need all of that. I need you to take them as they are. And I do believe that Paul, he had to go through so much and then still carry the word of the Lord on the inside of him. And that is for the men, that is the balance in us. Learning how to be balanced, learning how to take those broken pieces and still be able to get to shore, get to land. Find that story was it was crazy. It was incredible, because that story on Paul and them making it to land, it was 276 of them out there in the water for 2 weeks. Trying to get to Melita. They was trying to get there, and all they was swimming on was that broken piece of that boat. And they was out there. They tried just making it land. And so what that drive in you, and I'm talking to some men, that drive in you, that persistence, that go get it, that don't go get it. It's a word, it ain't a word, but
go get it. Go get it. Yes.
That go get it part of you that says, I don't care. I know I could drown. And one of the lines in my book that I say all the time, I went down, but I didn't go under. You hear me? I went down. I went into water, but I didn't drown. You see what I'm saying? So I feel that broken piece is what's showing us that whatever broken piece you have in your life, you may have a broken family, you may have a broken marriage, you may have a broken relationship with your parent, whatever it is, that broken piece. Come on, but you notice this. Watch this, y'all. You notice that anytime we go through things, watch this, we begin to seek out what soothed us. We begin to go get what helped us get over. We always reach back. Oh, well, yeah, when I was out there, I smoked that weed and I was straight. So when stuff start getting hard, here go the enemy telling you, go roll up. Go roll up, son. Go get you a 40. That's what you did. You know what I'm saying? Go get
you another woman. Make you feel good.
I was just ready to say that, Shalay. Go get you about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chicks. And just run through them. You know what I'm saying? That's what would soothe you when you was back in the day. You trying to be right and live right. Ain't nothing going right. That's how that devil is. Yeah. And God is saying, all I need you to do, you almost there. You almost there. You almost there. And that's when the enemy comes in the trick and say, go back.
I love go
back. They got afraid. They were in this boat, and Paul told them the boat ain't gonna make it. I never said we weren't gonna make it. And they got afraid, and they threw out an anchor because they got scared. An anchor ain't supposed to go out in the middle of no water.
No.
Anchor's for the shore when you get to the dock. They threw out the anchor in the middle of the water because they panicked. And Paul yelled out, cut that rope and let it go. Just let it go. If it's falling to pieces, falling to shambles, come on. We got to handle it. Handle it and keep on moving.
I love it. That's the word. I love it, Uncle Wesley. You don't understand when you talking. It's like hitting me in my gut because that's exactly what it is. And men, I think, get that fear even more inside of them because it's so much that's on their shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. But that's why here goes that mentorship. Here comes that guidance. Here comes that spiritual father, the spiritual part. That's what that's what. So I remember, and I'm gonna say this because I don't have nowadays. Shirley, I'm over 50, so I don't have no kind of cover up stuff. But I remember when I had shut down the organization, the Resurrects Fellowship of Churches, and Rasheen. Of course, Rasheen. Rasheen before he became a bishop.
That's right.
And when I shut the organization down, Rasheen said, yo, Pop, he said, I ain't going nowhere. He said, you shut all that down all you want. He said, I'll be right here when you get ready to pull it back up. I'll be right here. And that comes from loyalty, from watch this, from being a guide to him, from giving him wisdom. And this is all he knows. You know what I'm saying? Right. He's had many offers of other people come. Why don't you come out under the organization? Come under us. He said, I got a father.
I love it.
He said, I got a leader. You see what I'm saying? He said, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking. He said, I'm not looking for that. Well, Bishop ain't doing the fellowship of churches no more. He said, well, I'll just wait here till he get ready to come back with it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's that loyalty because he knows. He knows. I know. I would never think about being no. Come on, Roz. I would never think about being no preacher.
Yes.
I was a 5%er.
Right.
And this man saw something in me, and gonna prophesy to me, and gonna make me a bishop, and told me I would have a multicultural church.
Yes.
Which he has right now.
That's right. He sure does.
In a big cathedral. Who would have thought? A drug dealer from the street.
And he could have gave up because he had broken pieces all around him.
Come on. Drug dealer, drug user, all that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? But this is where God takes us, as especially as men, not to be defensive. Not to be defensive, but see, most men we get defensive because we were never. A lot of us wasn't trained to be able to hear.
Yes.
To be able to soak in, to be able to learn by an example, to be able to see, to be able to have a clear view, to see, to have that example in front of us to say, look, follow these steps, you can be right here, and you can be better. Follow these steps, you can be right here, and your businesses will be better.
I
Come on,
love it.
it ain't about me. It's about you being better than what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So most men don't have that because watch this. That little boy comes up, and you got that craziness called jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
That comes out, and then you have they're jealous of each other. You jealous of the. Oh my goodness, it's just crazy. Immaturity.
Yes.
I said that to somebody today. I said a lot of people can't. You cannot be a leader if you're immature. You cannot walk in certain areas because certain things don't require your response. Certain things you have to be mature enough to shut up and don't say nothing and be quiet. You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
And be able to take it and be able to grow up in that thing and be able to, so you can, because what you go through is going to train the next one that's coming after you. They're watching you. So if you immaturely handle something, this is the way all your people in your church going to handle stuff. You see what I'm saying? So, I love it, Shalyn.
I love it. You know, I like something you said earlier too. You talked about people who, and I think we often don't focus on these people because, you know, even with my son growing up, raising my son, you know, with you know, for a while he didn't, you know, he was raised with a father when he was little, but then when we got divorced, I was a single mother, and so I noticed the pain it caused him.
Right. Come on.
And you know, there were some things that I tried to cover, you know, for him to be, you know, just the best I could be, right? Because I tried to be mom and dad, knowing I couldn't fit that role. Right?
Come on, Shalyn.
That's just a role that's not built for me. And so I want you to talk about people that had fathers, because I think that we don't focus on that enough, but they had fractured fatherhoods. Like they came from fractured fathers, from fathers that were broken. Like you said, fathers that didn't hug them, that didn't spend time with them, that just overlooked them. And that is a part of them too, that they walk around broken with. But a lot of times we don't deal with that because we see the kid and they have a father and we think, oh, they okay, right? And we know, just being raised in Brooklyn, that there were so many fathers that were toxic. It was almost better that the mother leaves the father, right? Than to be in a house with a father who was abusive and toxic and broken in so many areas. You know, talk to the experiences I know you had with young men about that.
If a father is not giving, for God so loved the world that he gave. And we can stop right there.
I love it.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So a father cannot give something that he's never received. So that again, here we go. If you have a son, you can't give him love if you never got love. Because you never launched out to find out how to love. You never got literature or books on how to love my children, how to love my son. How do I get into my son's life? You know, there's books on everything out there.
Everything
you want to know.
And there's audio books. You don't even got to read them. You can just
come on. There's
no excuses. No excuses.
How do I love? How do I God gain a relationship? What counseling can I seek for us? You know what I'm saying? So instead of here we go, men, don't get mad at me. Instead of swallowing our pride. Instead of swallowing our pride, because now we have all of this weakness, we have all of this weakness, all these things that's within us, but we try to wrap it in strength. We try to wrap it in macho-ness. We try to wrap it in being the man. So now you have a part of you that so now you're really a fake man. So because a part of you is not being there for your kids or being there for, especially the boys. The part of you not being there for them kids should make you seek out. You see what I'm saying? Should make you seek out how to become that person of what he needs, how to communicate with him, how to go and just talk to him, how to create a relationship, how to keep creating a relationship, how to spend time with him. Because some things are even more than a conversation. Some things are just riding in the car, going to the barbershop.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's something that's just...
I think about my relationship with my father, and I can't, my father. Yes. I can't even imagine life without him. Like, it's just, like, I mean, we had so many moments And I feel like this is the reason why that even though I've been through a lot of, I kissed a lot of frogs in my life, I
Mm-hmm.
can never settle with one because I have a father that loved me so much. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
That example.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't have you to be settling with this Negro, say, or this person, whoever the person is.
Right.
So, that example of my father spending time with me, us taking rides together, him coming over, even now, he's still active with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if he don't hear from me, he might send a whole FBI troop over here. You know what I'm saying? Some things don't change,
Right.
But I often think about the love that my father showed me as a woman and how that's had an impact on my life. Mm-hmm. And if I wouldn't have had that love, the things that I thought I had to settle for.
Right.
So that's so powerful what you said.
That's why I always say the men order, even with your daughters, because after a while, the girls start getting mad. They're like, "Well, we need a father too." I'm like,
yes.
But, it's all in. Then you have a father that has to know how to treat the daughter, so that when she grows up, that young man got to meet some high expectations.
Yes.
Come on. You ain't taking me to no Boston Market if you're doing something. No, my father took me to Windows on the World. My father took me to the Rainbow Room up in the city. My father took me to $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 plates.
Yes.
Come on. I had to wear gowns when I went out with my father. You see what I'm saying? So that training and whatever she does, it helps her to realize that I don't have to settle for less. I don't have to settle for no joker that don't want to work. Mm-hmm. I don't have to settle for nobody that want to sit home and live. It's just crazy. I don't have to settle for none of that. I don't have to settle because my dad trained me in that area, and he trained me what to look for, and what to expect. And what to expect. And the wisest thing for brothers to do is, if that woman's father is alive, or that woman's father is in her life, is to try to create a relationship with the dad.
Yes.
And become friends with the father. And
unless he's scared, because he
can tell you.
Right, unless he's scared, because some of the fathers see right through the men. My father be like, "Nah, I ain't like this about him,"
But it's still a way in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's still a way in, because one thing about us men, once we see him at least trying, he may not like something.
Yes.
Trying, and then trying to have a relationship with him, he feels that now, okay, he wants me to be a part. He wants me to talk. You always need that mediator. You always need that person that can come and say, and who better than the one that knows you?
That's true. That's so true.
I always say that with friendships. I'm like, don't tell your friends away, because they know you better than anybody. And the best thing to do is don't try to get that person or get her away from all her friends and you her only friend. No. You should get to know her friends.
Get to know everybody.
Right, because they can tell you. She don't like purple hair on.
Right.
For her that weave, she ain't gonna like that.
Right.
She ain't what she gonna like it because I gave it to no, she don't like it. So you can't make her like it. And we telling you know what I'm saying? But most of the times we try to push away the outsider. We try to push away the third party. We try to push away the other person when we really should get to mesh and mend with them. So that you have that. I always say people always need that middle person. And ain't nobody in between. No, you always need somebody that can give that wisdom. And watch this, Charlotte, not take sides.
That's good. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And not take sides. I love you both. I'm here for you both. I love you both. I love you together, but I love you more if you're happy apart. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not taking sides. Don't make me take sides. Don't think that I love one because I talk to the other one. You see what I'm saying? Don't think a decreased love for you because I'm talking to you. No. Because we didn't start out like that.
Right.
So we shouldn't end out like that. We should handle it in a mature way. That's
Yes.
maturity. And knowing how to be groomed in that thing. And if things didn't work, it ain't work. Just be mature, wipe the dust for your feet, and just keep on moving like mature adults, because kids are watching you.
That's true. Oh, I love that. That's a good. People need to use that more often. Kids are watching you. You know what I'm saying? People, your legacy is watching you. What you do will prove to the next generation what they should do. You know, so
Yeah.
I think that's so important. I wanted to move to like your male role models, people that you've looked up to, and why.
When I left my dad's church, when I left my dad's church, I was 17, 16, 17, maybe 17. And when I left there, I went to Willoughby to Trooper Son, Ambassador Christian Temple. And I began to play for this ministry, Bishop J.W. McLean. I began to play for him, but then I began to notice that there was a fatherhood on him for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I began to walk as his mentee and begin to watch, the way he taught the word and the way he expounded on the word. People say whatever they want to say, but you know the true word of God. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I noticed that he began to give me responsibilities. We had a house full of preachers, and you leave me over your Bible study, and I'm not even a preacher yet. You know what I'm saying? So, and I began to watch it all evolve, how it all came around. You see what I'm saying? And after I was with them, years, I came back home. I was 20, I want to say 26 or something like that. I was 26, and that's when I walked into being the pastor of the church. And then here comes Apostle Tim James. You remember Apostle Joyce James?
Yes.
I just spent some awesome time with the man of God maybe a couple of months ago.
Wow.
And I began to tell him, I'm like, yo, you the one, you saw stuff in me. I said, so now I'm a son. I'm a son to you because, and all that he's imparted and all that he's put in me, you know what I'm saying? And all that he said, corrections.
Yes.
Come on, as well as exaltating, but he has been that beacon for me, and now where the Lord has me to evolve into another area of my life, where and I always told God this, Shalane, I never want to go seek for a father. I never, because I spent most of my life seeking my natural dad.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to seek a spiritual dad. I never wanted to seek a mentor. Because I spent my natural life looking for that.
Wow, that's powerful.
So I said, now when I said, Lord, those that come in, and it's only been like those three is when those natural men of God come in my life, or those spiritual men, come into my life. Lord, let them come into my life, not let me look for them.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And so now, my Archbishop Eugene Blunt over at Elam, on over there, it's such an enlightening, because he came to me and he said, he's like, Wiley, you got to push. He said, I'm here to push you. God sent me to push you to the next level, push you to everything you need to do. God sent me to push you straight through, and to the day. This is where I am. This is when you ask God to send you those people in your life. Don't search for them, but when you ask God to send you people, that will be that spiritual. And he said to me the other month, he said, I've never left anybody in charge of my church. You see what I'm saying? And Elam is a very prestigious church. Elam.
Love Elam.
Yes.
Love Elam.
And he's like, he'll come in, I'm teaching on my book, and he'll come in and he'll be like, I'm leaving. I gotta go. And, he like, I never leave anybody over this church. And I'm there teaching, moving in the word of God, just,
it.
And so when you begin to know by what God holds you accountable of.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? By the trust that people.
Yes, that's a good thing too. That's when I knew I was growing.
Yes.
because it was the accountability that God will place over you. And you see it through people who God placed in your life. God did the same thing with me. I never had to look for a spiritual mother, spiritual father, or even a mentor. They just showed up and we just had an instant connection. So I thank God for that. But also, when I hear them talk, even today, when I interview them and I talk to them, they often come back to me and be like, Chalet, I love you. You did this for me, and it makes me feel so good because I don't even realize it, Uncle Wesley. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being who I am. But they trust me. And the way that I look up to them, they say, this is a daughter I can trust. Mm-hmm. And when you get to that point where people know that they can hold you accountable and they can trust you, you know that God has spiritually moved you, that he has spiritually appointed you, and he's moved you from level to level. That's a powerful place to be.
Mm-hmm. And you have to know the area that you're not qualified in. You have to be man enough to know. I remember when one of my boys, and I'm telling you, I was done. I would throw my hands up. I was done kicking you out of the church. You get out, you leave. And the Lord gave me Ted Gustus.
Yes.
And I called Ted. I was like, yo, Ted, I need you to come to this meeting. He was like, what? I said, yo, Ted, I need you to come to this meeting upstairs in Mama Wiley's house. Ain't going to be in the church. We're going to be in the house. And everything I shared with Ted, I tell this testimony to today, Chalet. Everything I shared with Ted Gustus, we were sitting there and I was mad. I was pissed. I'm talking about, I'm done. Ted looks at me and says this. It ain't happened for him. It happened for you. I said, what? You cussing me out, Ted Gustus. You better get out of here. You better get out of there.
That sound like Coach Gustus. That sound like,
how this happening for me? How's this happening for me? I said, how's this happening for me? I don't want to deal with it. He said, no, because it's teaching you. You're getting ready to deal with a whole a vast amount of people that are not going to be the same. He said, you getting ready to deal with people that's going to come from all. And he said, you getting ready to pastor? You're going to have people coming from all over, all forms of life. He said, so what you going to do? You going to kick them out every time they mess up?
Ooh.
I could not believe. I tell you, I tell that testimony to the day. I said, when Gustus looked at me, he said, it ain't for him. It ain't for him. I know you're upset and all that. You going off. He said, get it all out. He said, get it all out. He said, but this ain't for you. For him, it's for you. That
sounds just like him, too.
Chalet, I was so
mad. When you're upset. When you are
Chalet, I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so fiery, man. He said, you get ready to deal with all kinds of people from all walks of life. So you're going to have the thief. You're going to have that fornicator. You're going to have that liar. You're going to have that drug dealer. He started going on down the line. He said, you're going to have all that coming to your church. So tell me, what you going to do with them? You know how he talk. He said, tell me what you're going to do with them.
He's so good. He's so good.
I was like, what? He's like, tell me, what you going to do with them? I said, I guess I'm going to pastor them. He said, exactly. Just like you're going to do him. He said, you mad at him, but you let it out, let it go, be free, move on.
Wow.
And see, this is what I'm saying, Chalet. That's when you seek that wisdom. I thought I was calling him to be a witness for something I was getting ready to make. And he come there.
God turned that whole thing around.
That's what I'm saying. They go that wisdom. You can't get in yourself and get all mad and get all tight. You got to seek wisdom and counsel, godly counsel, for them to come back and tell you, oh, it's you. You the one good. It's you. And I never forgot that. That was over 20-something years ago. And I never, ever forgot that. And that's carried me through to learn how to deal as a pastor for 17, 18 years, how to deal with all of those people at the same time, with all of those different spirits, all those different attitudes, all those different all kind of things that they would deal but then treat them all on their level, because everybody's not the same.
No.
Everybody's not the same. So I had to be mature enough, and I had to be mature. And see, that's why people always say, you're also before your time. I always hung out with older people.
Yeah,
even as a little boy, I always hung out with my godmother. I'll be playing pity pat. I'm 9, 10, sitting there with them playing pity pat, eating applesauce, and they're like, "What is this boy doing?" You know, and I was always before my time. You know, musically, my father in the AME church, Keith Proctor and them, they used to be kicking me out of the rehearsal. He'd like, let them stay. Let them sit by the organ. I didn't know how to play, but I learned. You see what I'm saying? And he said, let them stay. Let them sit here. These are all men, you know what I'm saying, that not even going on. They still alive and still functioning, you know, as God is calling them to function. But you got to always have that person that will impact your life, and that you will humble yourself enough to listen to, and shut your attitude, bring your character in line, and they ain't afraid of you. They ain't afraid to tell you that was wrong, that was too long. You need to study more. Get your because a lot of times we as men, our preaching take us indoors where our characters can't keep us. So you get you get a lot of doors.
You better say that.
But your character's nasty. You don't know how to handle people.
You moody.
Right. No. You don't know how to handle people. You don't know how to handle people afterwards. You had a great word. Oh, you preached the house down. Oh, they were shouting and dancing. But what's your attitude like when we leave out of this church? Can you say hello? Can you say God bless you? You see what I'm saying? Are you humble? Are you able to just at least say thank you to the people? Or some, you know what I'm saying? So your character's nasty.
Uncle Wesley, I'm telling you, ever since I'm telling you, Uncle Wesley, I mean, you know, I've been out of New York for a long time, but it amazes me. And, you know, I've been in church forever because my father was a pastor and I've been all around. It amazes me, the people of God, men of God, who are like different people when they come from the pulpit. You know, like we owe them something for being anointed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, and I just wasn't used to that because we were always family. You know, we spoke to each other. We got to know each other. We celebrated each other on our birthdays, you know, and so it was really a family thing. And one thing I want to do is this. I know this is a weird question, but I think it's important because me and you both are well-traveled. We've been out the country, and I think it makes a difference in your being and who you are and getting to know what's important when you go outside of the country. And I think some men, not enough men, especially and minority men, African-American men, have had the opportunity to travel out the country. Why do you think that's been so important to you as a man?
Of traveling?
Yes, traveling.
I believe that. I just believe in simple. It's doing the work of an evangelist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I do believe it's different. We go through different phases of our life, Chalet. We go through, and that's why we always have to stay yielded. We always have to stay in the correct posture.
Yes.
To guide it in that direction that God is leading us in that time or that season. So I do believe that, you know, you can do all the other things concerning ministry, and then the Lord will say, drop this, hand the baton over. As a matter of fact, hand the baton over to the same person that Ted Gustis told me not to throw out the church. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hand the baton over, and now you do the work of an evangelist. What? So now places where you couldn't go before on a Sunday morning, now places that you couldn't go and do revivals because you had to leave because you had a church to come to. Now you do the work of an evangelist. You go on the road. You go here. You there. You're not even concerned. You just go where I tell you go, and the people call. They send for you. You go. Do the work of the evangelist. Do the work of the evangelist because God has put something in our mouths, and it's not only in church. You know, I'm telling people this now in my pop-up book club and my midday cafe. What we're in now is my light died. What we're in now is, Charlene, we're in a global revival. See, and this is what people understand. And because of this pandemic. This global revival is so important because now we're on avenues like this.
Yes.
Where everybody can see us.
Yes.
We're on avenues like this where the unchurched and the church can see us. We're on avenues like this where, you know, every person that needs to hear about Chalet Trainum, Baptiste, to hear about Wesley Wiley, Ted Gustus, Ken Moses, all those men of God, Ziddy Hamathiite, and all those that are on, you know what I'm saying? He has opened up an avenue where you got somebody that's not ashamed to get on here and interview people. You see what I'm saying? And find out and talk to them and let them share and let them encourage somebody. So it's different avenues. It's outside the church now. That's all I'm saying. It's outside the church. It's global. It's beyond the four walls. You see what I'm saying?
I love it. Actually, I love it.
Yes, me too.
I think it was a needed thing.
Yes.
Because I think some of us, I know I got this little echo. Some of us were so comfortable in the church. We were so relaxed in our positions, and we began to lose focus that the real ministry is outside the church. And the real ministry, and you always knew this, Uncle Wesley. This is not nothing new to you and some other people. But I think that a lot of people lost focus that it's the people in the streets that we needed to minister to, right? That we needed to evangelize to. It's the hurting people we need to reach, to really get to. And some people will you never be able to reach them in the church. They're not coming to church. You know what I'm saying? And even the people who were going to church, they got so comfortable in the building, and they got so comfortable with the pastor, they forgot how to get on their knees for themselves. They forgot how to read their words for themselves. They forgot that they can touch God. They can touch the hem of God's garment. So I love the fact that God did this, because I think he brought us back to our first works.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. I'm so excited to have you on today. I mean, you dropped so many nuggets about manhood, and I want you to continue to do the work. I want you to tell everybody where they can follow you. You do the pop-up book club, the midday cafes. Talk about that. When do you do them? And you also do the prophetic momentum, right? With Pastor Jill. And so talk about that.
You can get the book on Amazon, Wesley J. Wiley. As soon as you just put my name in, it comes right up. The book looks just like this.
Yes.
And also you can get it on now. It's just got on ebooks. And we're working on Kindle now. I'm working with Lizzie now on Kindle. And also you can go on my website is wesleyjwiley.org. And you can go on there, professional website. You can go on there, order the book, or you can find me on Facebook, Wesley Wiley. You can go on my inbox. We get it to you. Or I'm on Instagram,
yes.
Wesley Wiley. I'm on TikTok, all that stuff. You got to be relevant.
Yes.
I refuse to be dated and out. I refuse. No. That's played out. Being all outdated and don't know what's going. No, you got to learn. A lot of preachers in trouble when that pandemic hit because they don't know. They didn't know how to function on a computer. They didn't know how to work a computer.
Right.
Come on. So they were so used to the church to where they couldn't even do ministry, or they got on here and they didn't know no substance because they were so used to having an audience.
A lot of those.
They were so used to having a hallelujah. And you preaching down hard and you get stuck. Silence.
Yes.
Yes. But it is what it is. Fine, you can find the book. We working on second book and the third book now. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for what is to come. What's getting ready to happen. I'm excited.
I love the pop-up book club because I think you touched on a couple of nuggets, but there's so many nuggets in that book that you cover. And so please order the book and please go to the pop-up book club because you really go into detail about it. And there's always a different word that you give during the week.
Every Monday at 7. Every Monday at 7. And I've been doing this for a whole year straight. Since the pandemic, since the pandemic, the Lord told me to bring this book back out. I'm telling y'all, it was all the Lord said, bring it back out because this book was 10 years old last year, and I brought it back out, and I had my friend and brother, Bernard Jordan, Archbishop Bernard Jordan, to do the forward on it. The stuff he wrote in here is crazy, you know what I'm saying? And to have him to do it, and I started teaching. at the beginning of that pandemic.
Mm.
At the beginning, and who would have thought? I've been teaching. When I brought the book back out, it wasn't even, the pandemic wasn't even here.
Wow.
No, it wasn't here. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know I was going to do no book club. I didn't know I was going to do I didn't have no idea to do nothing online. Actually, I wasn't thinking about nothing like that. I was just out to sell my books.
Right.
And when the pandemic hit, God said, get online with it. I was like, get online with it. I don't want to do no lies, and Jill and all my friends, they telling me just do the live, go on. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's created so many blessings, a testimony.
Yes.
Coming from the Proper Book Club. Then on Fridays is crazy, talking about the mind, body, and soul in the Midday Cafe and breaking down the function of the mind and the brainstem and cerebellum and cerebellum and all that kind of stuff. And just to break down of the mind, body, and soul, people are like, oh my God, this is blowing me away. But, you know, and then the prophetic momentum is just, that's a whole nother. I wish you could come to the conference, Shirley.
When's the conference? Let me know.
Charlie, when is the conference?
You know I'm there. You just gotta give me a date.
Charlie, you say, when is the conference?
You know I'm a travel luster person, so just you give me the date. I'm there. I'll book the hotel. I'll be there, front row. When is this conference?
Charlie, you say, when is the conference? It's June 25th and 26th. It's in Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm gonna be in Jacksonville that weekend, so you know I'm gonna be there.
Get out of here, Sean.
Yes, I'm gonna be there for a concert. My brother's having a concert there. Tank is supposed to be there that weekend.
What?
Yes. Yes, and his opener is Holly Monroe, and I'm really close to the manager, so I'll be there that weekend. I'm there. You ain't said nothing word.
It's right there. We're gonna be. I see the info, but we started that in June, and it's been a whole year. We have not missed one Saturday night at 7:00. We have not missed one. We've been on going on a whole year at the beginning of this all this pandemic, and God has anointed it. So many people have been blessed. You know, you just got to learn how to flow, like you said, Sheila. You said, Uncle Wesley, you just revise yourself. I said, yup.
That's right. I love it though.
I ain't dying. I got to live.
Me either. God got too much to do for us. We can't stop.
That's right, Sheila. That's right. I love you, girl.
I love you too. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We have some more magnificent men for May. Okay, so stay tuned and come back tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow.